Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles, and welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. Welcome back if you're always looking at these. So I have a video that I haven't made in months, and it's my monthly makes. So I didn't make many things in March, clothing wise, but I did sew a lot. Now I think the last time I showed you some makes was at the end of December when I did my Christmas present sewing. So that was the last sewing I did. So basically January, February, I didn't sew a single thing. When we moved into the house, my first priority was making all these curtains, right? So that drove me a bit insane. And I am not the one to make really complicated curtains. Like if you had a small apartment and you had like one feature window and go for it, line it, put blackout fabric, hidden tabs, all the jazz, But I had how many? 1, 2, 3, like 7 big windows to cover, each with 2 big panels, and yeah, that is a lot of sewing. So because the curtain system in this house was just like supports on each side with a rod, some of them were double and some were simple, it made it much easier for me. So I just basically did a big hem on the top and a big hem on the bottom, put the rod in, and that is it. So each of these curtains means I had to do a big hem at the top, big hem at the bottom, and then a double sort of hem on the sides. So it was a lot of sewing. And then don't even add the little thingy that goes behind them. So I have a little tiny bit of footage of me making this, if you're interested. It's very short, so I'll insert that in now. So I spent more than a week with just big huge pieces of fabric all over the floor. I had to measure each piece. The rubbish bin was just full of the green and the purple, the colors that I chose. And here you see my method. So this is the hem, the bottom. I ironed every single curtain, so many panels. And as I was ironing, I kept measuring my 6 centimeter hem allowance. So I had to iron the whole length. Each of these panels was 2 meters in width and 2.3 meters in length. And then I double hemmed each side, like I folded it twice, and I also ironed that. So if you see here, I have another machine, and I purchased this machine just to make curtains and all the home decor that I am planning. I have my other new machine here that I'm just looking at for now. I still haven't used it. So this is an older style Janome, very old. It's 1004. I'm sure this does not exist anymore. I bought this used from a lady that posted it locally on Facebook Marketplace sort of thing. And when I got in touch with her, she told me the story of how she won the sewing machine in a raffle about 8 years ago, and she didn't know how to sew. She just kept it in a box, and it was basically brand new. So I bought it for about $100. I took it to a man I found locally that services sewing machines just to get it cleaned and oiled and, serviced, because it's been, in a box for years. Things can happen. And he told me it was an awesome sewing machine, that it was working really well. So I'm really happy with it. And the functions, I'll just come up here closer. The functions are so basic. It's basically got straight stitch and zigzag stitch, and another sort of weird zigzag stitch. Very basic, length, selector, tension, very, very basic. But for the curtains, it's been working a charm. Very powerful machine. It can go through all the layers. I'm using quite a thick fabric. So, yeah, I've never had 2 sewing machines in my life. And now if this one needs servicing or anything, I can just rely on this one. And any more rougher projects that I want to make, I can come to this one perfectly. I want to dabble in bag making, so this is the one I'm going to use. And later on, I'm going to be making lots of cushion covers when my couches arrive. So yeah, I have the mother Janome and the daughter. I don't know if your machines multiply, but mine do. So yeah, that was a little thing I hadn't told you yet about, and that is how I've made my, I've been making curtains, and I still haven't finished. And now I'm gonna take you around the house and just show you them, how they look, just from afar, not much detail, because you know, curtains are curtains, and I didn't go the fancy way. These are just very simple curtains. I do love the fabric. I think it looks homey, totally my style. I would never make curtains with a printed fabric. That just overwhelms me too much. I'd rather have solid colors. And I would never make white or light colored curtains either. I like a bit of color, but just in a solid color. So I have one curtain left to make, and that is the kitchen one, but I'm not stressing. I'll make it whenever, and that's gonna be an easy one, and the window's pretty small. This is not an intended house tour, so just please focus on the curtains because everything's not, you know. Anyway, this is like my sewing room would look if I'm actually actively using it. You see, it's not as pristine as on my sewing room tour. So I do have a pattern there on my table, loads of mess, but there is my green curtain. I love the color of the curtain. I just think, you know, I've always wanted a green curtain. There is the curtain for the family room. Nice shade of violet. My son's room's curtain is blue. Now this one has a single rod on it. That's what the house had, and it's crooked, so I have to buy a new rod and change it because that crookedness really disturbs me. And I just want to show you something interesting. So these are some of Martin's school books, and he has to take Spanish at school and English, and he's really fortunate to dominate these two languages already. So all the exercises in here are dead easy for him. Rosetta Stone, whatever, that's what they use. So he has a blast doing homework. It takes him like 5 seconds, and the good thing is he has much more time for the other things at school. So I need to make little curtain thingies that go there to grab them, and I need to install little hooks on the windows, and I can't find those hooks yet. So I've also ordered fabric online to make those little thingies that go there, so that is going to be a project for April. And there's this tiny little window there, and I've just got it tied up with a scrap piece of curtain fabric. So I'm also going to make a thing like that to hold it and to look nice. So for my room, I chose the green color as well because it's all flowers, what I chose for my bed. So I really wanted something really like springy. You see that transparent layer behind the curtain. I had to make those as well. So yeah, it was a lot of work. Now I'm gonna go downstairs and show you the living room, dining room area. So the dining room and the living room also have the violet curtains, as you can see. Very, very simple curtains, and the transparent layer at the back. And the dining area also has that. You can see this is still empty. We've bought the couches and the dining room table, but it takes them over a month to deliver. That's pretty standard, it's like that here. And the last curtain I have to make is in the kitchen. I haven't made this for that window. It's gonna be a smaller curtain, much easier to make than all the other ones. So if you watched my unboxing of my new sewing machine, you would have gathered that I was teeny tiny bit scared of it, you know? But I went ahead and just started using it. So I made 2 garments. I made them like in 2 days, basically. I made a really easy garment with stretch fabric. Very easy, no thinking required, and it's a pair of shorts for my son. Now, months ago, we cloned a pair of shorts that he had ready to wear, and he made a pair of denim pants. I kept that pattern because it's sacred, you know, those patterns you can't, you know, especially if they still fit him. I don't have access to boy patterns, anything. So anything I make for him will come via the cloning method because I don't know how to self-draft for little boys either. So I got that shorts pattern and I made him another pair of shorts. Now these look like it's like jeans. It looks like denim, but it's actually just a thick jersey. That's how it looks like on the other side. I did some top stitching there on the side, just one layer, and everywhere just an elastic. Normal hem, very, very simple, brainless piece of work. But he does really need a pair of shorts. He always needs shorts. I mean, he puts on clothes, wears them, dirties them, and chucks them. And I'm constantly doing laundry, and he always needs fresh new clothes. And yeah, it's an endless thing with boys, isn't it? So this is really comfy. I like it because it looks like he's wearing like denim shorts, but they're actually like very stretchy, you know? So that's one. And I used one new gadget from my sewing machine, and it was the quarter-inch foot that the thing brings. And I just used it to top stitch that, and it just turned out perfect now. I mean, I used to top stitch before, just normal, just trying to guide the foot, and you know, sometimes there'd be a little wobble, but in this opportunity, I think the top stitching is perfect, you know. Then the last make I have is just a pair of pants for myself. Now, these came from a magazine, a Spanish magazine called Patrones, and it's, I love it. There's lots of things there, and I saw a pair of pants that were really wide legs, just with some pleats here on the front and the back. And it was supposed to have a side zipper and a waistband, but yeah, I bypassed that. I'd rather have my nice stretchy waistband. So I just omitted one of the pleats at the front to give me some give so I can put it over my hips. And I just put my knit waistband there. That's very, very, so it's huge. The legs are just huge. Very nice, very flowy, very easy woven fabric project to start with my new sewing machine. I also did the overlocking with my new overlocker. So yeah, these will be special because they're like the first things that, you know, that I made for myself, you know. So you can't see how they look, you know, but I'll show you some pictures now, and then I'll be right back to say bye. Cool, so that's all for now. Very short and sweet, not many makes to show, but I will fix that at the end of April, believe me. Thanks for watching. Like if you liked it, and subscribe, share, all those things. Bye and happy sewing.